Welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Before we get started today, let me go through the housekeeping notes. All the product I use and all the dimensions will be listed below. Also is a link to my online store, so if you want to purchase some product, you can go to that link and purchase. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator if you don't have one. You'll also find my email address and a link to our Facebook group, which we'd love to have you join. So on with the project. First, I wanted to remind you we're winding down celebration. It's good until the 28th of February. And so we are going to be using some product out of there. I'm just going to thumb through the book here real quickly and show you what we're going to be using. We're going to be using the Flavored Flower paper today. It pairs with the Fragrant Flowers bundle, and we are going to be using portions of the bundle today as well. So, and there's more items in here. It's probably too late for me to send this particular catalog to you, but if you want to see more of it, you can go onto my online store and view the whole catalog. Also, there is these items that are also available for celebration. And I've already gone through those in a previous video, but this list is also on my online store, so you can look there. And at the time of filming, everything was still available, but remember, it is while supplies last. And the Fragrant Flower set that we're going to be using can be found in the mini catalog on page 21, which is a beautiful set. So, on with the project. Moving on. First, I wanted to show you this paper real quick, a little up close, a little more. This is just one sheet of each of the, you get two sheets. This is one sheet of each of the patterns. Like I said, it's really gorgeous paper. And then on the flip side, we have patterns. And so it makes it really nice to put together. And if you're wondering what colors are in this set, it's black, Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, and Petal Pink. So, today we are making this card. I'm going to hold this up nice and close. And if you can notice, there is water droplets on the flowers and the leaves. I'm going to show you how to get those as well. This is a landscape gatefold card. Most of us do the normal tall orientation, but this is a landscape. It has a nice little belly band, and when you open it, it opens this way. Now, as you know, I always like to change things, colors and whatever, and this is no exception. And I'll show you what we're making in a second. And here is a nice little envelope. And I'll show you how we did that. So, before we get started, we are going to do some stamping. And so I need our cardstock and an envelope. And this is a photopolymer set. Whoa. Things just crashing off my thing. So, we are going to be stamping this flower, friend, and this design from the Fragrant Flowers. And I'm also stealing a verse, I'm borrowing a verse from Framed Florets. I used wishes for a beautiful birthday on the first card. This one I'm going to use for a special person on a special day. I needed a different verse, so that's why I went to the second set. So we're going to get started here. This is 4 1/4 by 4. Set those over there, out of our way. And here is our envelope. So let's stamp the envelope first. And what we need is the friend and this cute little design. And we're going to be using Fresh Freesia and Blackberry Bliss because that's the colors in the paper. Also, reminder that come the end of April, Fresh Freesia, a soft succulent evening evergreen, pale papaya. I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. Lipstick pink. I think it's Those 5 are retiring at the end of April. So if you want a stamp pad, ink, paper, whatever, you need to get that order in right away because it is while supplies last. When they run out, that's all you're going to need. And don't forget your re-inkers. So there's my plug about the stuff that's retiring. I personally can't wait to see what the new colors are going to be. We know one of them, it's boho blue. So this is that little design that they give you. And I'm going to actually stamp it twice. I'm going to stamp it down in the corner. And then I'm going to come down here. And if you line up as best, I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera too. You can hook the 2 together. Not quite even, but it's good enough. It's the front of a card. And we're going to close this up for now and get the Blackberry Bliss. And we are going to stamp Friend right in the middle. And that's the front of our envelope. Inside the card, we are going to stamp, I'm going to set the Blackberry Bliss aside for just a second. We are going to stamp this flower that comes in our set. And I'm going to stamp that in Memento because I'm going to actually color it with blends. Make sure I've got everybody well inked. And I'm going to tuck it down here in this corner. Just like that. Isn't that gorgeous? It is a gorgeous flower. And cover up my Memento. And I'm going to grab the Blackberry again. And I'm going to put my verse up here in this corner in Blackberry. Just like that. And that's the extent of the stamping on this project. So let me toss that aside and let me grab, well, I'll grab this. My scratch paper is what fell off the desk just a moment ago. Excuse me, I have a little raspy throat this morning. And I need to take a little drink. So I am using two colors in this. I am using Old Olive and Blackberry Bliss. Now, the leaves were Mossy Meadow, but I wanted something a little lighter. So that's why we're using that color. And I'm going to start with the light Blackberry Bliss. And I am just literally doing the outside first just because it's easier for me. I guess I could move this in a little bit. So you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. My goal here is just to stay inside the lines today. And then I'm just going to lightly go across all of this. Now keep in mind when it dries, it will dry a little lighter. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the dark and I'm going to take the other nib, the harder nib. And what I'm doing is I'm not really doing a whole lot. I am just going in here and putting a few striations and putting a few details in. Not a lot though, because it is such a dark color. And with the black, you don't need a lot. Just to add a little more detail to it. That looks pretty good to me. Now I'm going to take the light again and just sort of blend that out a little bit. Like I said, this is not rocket science coloring. Then I'm going to grab the Old Olive light and basically do the same thing. The olive looks really beautiful with this. And we'll grab this one. And with all the black in there, you don't need a lot, but we'll just put a little bit in here. Just brings out a little more detail. And I don't even think I'm going to blend that one in again. I'm just going to leave it just like that. So that's the inside of our card, all stamped. Okay, get it back in. So we'll set that aside. And I'm going to push this, oops, sorry. Get that the right way. Pull that back out. Set my envelope over here and put these pins away. And we're starting to start building the card. So we need one piece that is 11 by 4 1/4, and we'll come back to him in a minute. And you can use your scoreboard or you could use your trimmer. I'm going to go ahead and use my trimmer today. And we are going to be scoring at guess what? I wrote all these lovely measurements down and I didn't write my score line down. Just one moment while I take a quick measurement. I think I know what it is, but I don't want to guess. It's 2 3/4. You know, you don't want to guess at these things. And I better write those on the thing so we have it. Sometimes you just forget to write things down. So we're going to score at 2 3/4 on both ends. And we'll flip it around and score at 2 3/4. Set that aside. And we're going to fold these in like this. They should come together at the center, which they do. And grab my bone folder and give them a nice burnish. And we're going to go ahead and place this into the center of our card. I know I keep on grabbing that one, but it's still got glue in it, so I just want to continue using it until it dies on me. It will die one of these days. So, the inside of the card and the outside panels, we are going to use 4 pieces of DSP that are 2 1/2 by 4. Now, I wanted 2 different designs. I wanted a flowers design for in here, and I wanted something very neutral on the other side. Well, the other pack of paper actually ended up using 2 different styles, sheets of paper, because they didn't have the style I wanted. But I flipped this one over and I said, it works just fine, so we're going to keep this one. So these go on the inside panels. Except I'm getting too much glue in there. Hang on. This does have 1/4 inch margins around the edges on this card. This is a very simple card to put together. Gatefold cards are really nice. You can do a lot with them. You can make them portrait. You can make them landscape. If you do a portrait, you're going to score at 2 1/8 on both ends of your paper versus 2 3/4 on a landscape. So there's that part. Now we're going to put the pieces on the front here, and this time we're going to cover up all those beautiful flowers. love this pattern. It's beautiful. Okay, now my card's overlapping just slightly, but that's okay. If it doesn't, if it overlaps slightly, it's fine. It still works. I don't mind a little overlap. So now we've got the inside and the base of the card done. Now it's time to make our belly band and the decorative piece for the front. So I'm going to bring this one back in to show you. You see the layers on the flower. And then, of course, got the water droplets. What I did is I grabbed a sheet of paper. I'm going to bring in the sheet I was working with. These flowers here are the big ones I cut out, and the die from the set cuts those out beautifully, like that, okay? And then I wanted a layer to go up on these just to give it some depth. So I looked at the edges of the paper, and I'm going to pull this newer sheet in because you can't see that. So here's this one I cut out. So I needed a small flower and a large flower. So I looked to the edges. So here was a small one, and here was a large one. So I fussy cut that out. And here's one I already fussy cut, and it goes in like this. So when you put this on, you've got some extra depth to that flower. But I did not fussy cut this one. I didn't want to watch you be bored watching me fussy cut two flowers. But I wanted to show you how I did it. You're going to go right up to the edge. And you sort of have to decide what you want to remove. And I'm going to come in here. And there's no wrong or right. You just choose the lines you want to follow. I'm going to follow this one this time. I'm not sure it's the same one I did last time. And fussy cutting is not difficult. Nope. I guess I should get back over here so you can see it a little better. Trying to hold the paper and not move. Trying to move the paper, not the thing. I'm not good at fussy cutting that way. Everybody says that's the way you're supposed to do it. Now I'm coming out here and taking this littler piece off. But you could take any petals off you wanted. And if you cut off the black line, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to fix that. And you're going to want to fix it, and I'll show you why. Let's take off this one here. I'm a slow fussy cutter. Come in here a little bit. But you don't want to be fast at fussy cutting, you know, slow and steady. Actually, I want to go ahead and cut this one off too. Don't be afraid if you do something different than I did. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to cut away. And, you know, I first started doing this. I cut away very little the first time. I missed a spot down here. Very little the first time. And then I came back and decided laid it on there and decided I wanted to cut more off. And I did. So that's all you do is cut. So use the little side pieces for that. So what I've done is I've cut away quite a bit. But we need it for the depth. Now, with all this black here, I don't know if you can see it here, you got white edges. And it didn't look too good on these where you were cutting. So take a black marker. I just used Stampin' Right marker. What you want to do is just take your marker and go along. Anytime you have a white edge and you want to put another color on it, it doesn't have to be black. It can be whatever you're working with. Take a marker and just go around the edge very gently. Just wanting to get the edge of the paper, like that. Now the one I die cut, I'm not really worried about, and I'm going to show you why in a second. These I want them done because they're going to be sitting up in the air a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm back out of the camera. I got to zoom in a little bit, and I have to remember that. I'll get better. I promise. But this technique is really quite good when you want something to look finished on the edge. So, before I put this together, I went ahead and a basic black. I'm using this as a belly band. If you just use the DSP, it would work, but it'd be very flimsy and would not hold up well. So I cut with the die a piece of black paper. And we are going to adhere this on with the black paper. Now you do want to make sure you get up in here, not a lot, but make sure you get those little areas because it is a belly band, so you want to make sure you get around the edge really nice in the little pieces because people are going to be handling it. Like that. And then I'm going to set this on here like this. Now you could use tape if you want. Personally, I think lining up stuff on a cardstock is easier to do with glue. Now if you still have a little bit of white, too much white on the edge, you can go ahead and use the black on there, but there is not that much on there, so I'm going to leave it just like that. So we've got that piece. Next we need to hook on our flowers. Since this is dark paper and I'm using black, I grabbed my black dimensionals and I'm going to try to scoot this in so you can really see what I'm doing. I know it's very close. What I'm doing is I'm checking here to find out where the petals where I was cut. You got to line them back up so you can see where you're working. That's the one right there. So that's about where I want it. Now if it's off a little bit, that's fine. So it just gives it more depth. Oop. And I have that right there. I'm looking at this one right here. You see how it look at the duplicate. I'm sort of lining it up, and I'm not pushing down until I see where it's at. And then when I get where I want it, I'm going to push it down. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one here. Let's see here. Line up some flowers. Line up those little 3 ones right there. 1, 2, 3. So you notice this one I came clear to the edge and I'm over further on this one, which is perfectly fine. There is no wrong or right answer to doing this. It's whatever you want to cut away. You could just cut the outside and just put a second layer over the whole thing if you wanted. But doing this type of technique with putting layers in really gives depth to a card. So that's that one, that's that one. That looks pretty good. So you can see the depth in the card. Oop, there. That way. Okay. Now it's time to make the belly band. Now, this is 11 by 1 inch. Oop, let's zip this back out here a little bit. This is 11 by 1 inch. And this is not going to go clear around your card. But what you want to do is put it right in the middle, or as close to middle as you think it is. And just lightly fold this. We are not scoring or anything. We are just putting this around. Now there is going to be a gap because this paper is the same length as this paper. It's cut from the same piece. I just chopped the first one, cut the second one. So it's not going to give them together. And that's the other reason I wanted some cardstock behind this piece. And then you need to take and just lightly hold it where it's in place and make sure that it can move freely. So I need to come back just a hair on this side. And all you do is pull it back a little bit and refold. It'll be fine. Just like that. And then we're going to take and come in here and put our flower in. Oh, what do I want to have him lay? Let's lay him about like that. And I'm going to use dimensionals. And I know he's not going to go over too far. I'm going to put 3 in there. You could use glue or tape if you wanted to, but I like the look of this up on dimensionals. It gives the card something extra. I'll get rid of all those. I'm gonna hold off for just a second till the helicopter passes in case he's coming through on the recording. Like I said, I live across the river from the Portland International Airport, the National Air Guard, and I'm about 4 blocks from a hospital with a huge heliport. So sometimes we just have to make do and stop when the helicopters and the planes make a lot of noise. And I'm going to get this where I want it. That looks good. And drop it down. Now we have a belly band. And our card. So next, we need to take and put some bling on this. And our dewdrops. Get some stuff out of our way. So for bling, I chose the round pearl rounds. Because I love the pearl rounds. And somewhere. And I'm going to put 1 up here. And I think 2 down here on this one. I think I did it opposite of the other one, but that's okay. Now, on for the dewdrops. Once I put these on, I'm not going to be able to hold this card up this way. The dewdrops I am actually making with our fine tip glue pen. When you put the glue drops on here, you're just going to dab little drops of glue where you want them. As you can see, I've got lots of them. And then you're going to take this and set it aside somewhere where no one can touch it. It will be dry to the touch in about 15 minutes. If you're going to put pressure or put it in an envelope, it won't be totally set up for about 24 hours. But it does a great job. So, we're going to put our dots on here. And I want to definitely put 1 on here. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Let's see if that does it. Now, let me see if I can stick the pin back in and see if that will unjam it again. This is a brand new bottle. Sorry about the delay. I think I did not get it put in there properly when I put it away the first time. I think we're working now. You do need to make sure that you get your glue, the little pin in there. And I'm just going around. Let me scoot this in a little bit so you can see. I am just going around and putting little dots here and there, a lot of dots, because I want it to look like dew on the flower. Very randomly. Don't forget the leaves. And they look sort of milky color when they first go on. but they really add a great accent to this type of card. But you have to have patience too. So that's all the little things. And they look weird right now, but I'll show you the first one. Get this back in here. Me and this lovely needle always have a love-hate relationship. Well, I will do it in just a minute. So anyhow, I cannot tip this now. You need to leave it flat. So I will bring in the first one again that I made. And there's the first one. And it's all dry. And the inside of this one. Unfortunately, I can't open that one because I cannot disturb those dots. I could slide this off, maybe gently. There. And I can show you the inside of this again. So that is our card today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will, if you need any supplies or anything or have any questions, please give me an email and I will get back to you. And thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Thank you.